This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And
anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
The old saying goes, if you don't work, you don't eat. Well, there's a new saying for the new generation. You either grind or starve. Established in 2015, Grind or Starve Apparel has become the premier fashion brand for today's hustlers, entrepreneurs, and CEOs in the making. The online store provides groundbreaking styles and innovative designs for today's go-getters, proving that you can grind and look good at the same time. Grind or Starve has several collections to choose from. The new GOS Luxury, Designer, Location Apparel, rep your city to the fullest, Fitness, Barber Edition, Stylist Edition, and Baker's Edition. Go to gosapparel.com the next time you need a hoodie, polo, G-shirts, bags, all made with the best quality materials. Grind or Starve. The choice is yours. Go to gosapparel.com.
Hey everyone, producer Neil Wood here. We had a small tech issue right at the beginning for a minute or two. A mic must have switched while we were getting started because there was some breaking news. So, but it's a great episode. You'll definitely enjoy. So I'm going to leave it to Brian and Rand to take over. And thank you so much. Enjoy the episode.
High IQ basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. What's going on, bro?
I'm gonna go for like a quadruple double.
And welcome to another edition of High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. I'm Brian Isley. That's Raymond Byrd. We got super producer Neil, and we have a guest today. We have a guest in the building. We've been trying to make this happen for a while now, but he's finally here. Author, activist, hip-hop podcaster, co-host of the legendary Boombox Life Radio, Mr. Saquion Gullett.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Oh man, happy to be here.
Yeah, man. It's good to finally have you on the show.
Yeah, man. I've been watching.
And
I love it. Love it. Think about it.
We appreciate that, man. We're gonna get right into it. Y'all know how it goes. 4 quarters, 4 topics. Then we get into our OT. I think y'all know what the OT is gonna be about, but you know, that's why we say that for last. Quarter number 1. I guess we're gonna revisit our picks from the first episode. We are a quarter into the season, and we're going to talk about, you know, who we think should be the MVP so far, the most improved player, 6-man, coach of the year so far. So we're going to start with Ray. Ray, who you got, man?
MVP, I think it was the early choice was Joker, right? But I think right now it's Embiid. I think when we
Your
first gave
early
our
choice was
it Embiid?
Your early choice was Joker. Yeah.
Now, like I think early in the year, I said we said that he had an opportunity where, you know, they lost Harden, they traded Harden, they didn't replace him, and he had this team that didn't have any expectations, and if he could get them to that top 4 seed and he's playing at a high level, like he would put himself in that conversation, and I think he's exceeded that. I think the Sixers are still contenders, and he's put them like 35 and 11 right now. Like he's definitely an MVP. I think he's probably leading MVP talks right now.
And career high in assists.
Bullshit assists because he's a super jack. But
it's BS.
It's BS assists. Like he's not playmaking at all.
I mean, it's basic basketball.
I'm in the pick and roll. Y'all send 3 people at me, and I kick the ball out, and somebody makes a shot. He ain't creating opportunities for nobody.
You must not be a John Stockton fan then.
I mean,
there's assist, and then there's assist. You know what I mean? That's running the offense. Joker is running the offense. He is creating you backdoor, and he is throwing dimes to people. Like Embiid's not doing that. Embiid is, his last resort is I done drew 3 defenders and I ain't got no choice but to pass the ball and I pass the ball.
Well, shit, we seen people draw 3 defenders and still shoot.
Right, but and we've seen him do it many times too.
So I'm just saying, can we just like give him a little bit of credit? Like
not for the assist.
I'm
not
the
ready
double
to give
team
him.
and the triple
I
team.
think you got a little bit of intent in there and everything. Like you just don't want to give him a little credit.
Yo, because he's a jack. Yo, we all seen the highlight where he got the ball on the high post or whatever, and he jab step for 13 seconds, and Oubre's in the corner clapping for the ball like, "Yo, I'm wide open, pass the ball," and he still pulls it. He makes the shot, so you can't say nothing. But that's who Embiid is. Embiid is like, his intent is to get 35 every night. Like that's his intent. Like he is very aware of, I've on this streak where he scored 30 points and 30 and 10 for 18 straight games. Like he knows that that's what he's on. His intent every game is to get that 30 piece.
All right, that's one clear example of him denying the teammates the ball. But like I said, he has a career high in assists, and we've seen plenty of examples where he did make that kick out to the corner, or he did make that kick swing the ball to the other side. Like we've seen examples of him maturing as far as passing the basketball, where in other cases he hasn't done it.
I don't agree. I think he's leading the MVP votes, MVP chase right now for me. I think he wins the MVP if it ended today. But in regards to getting other players involved, like him averaging 35 and 11 is the reason they go home in the second round, unless they do something else with the roster.
Saquon, can you weigh in, please?
Against him or my picks?
Nah, wherever you want to go with it.
Because I feel like that is moving the goalposts in so many ways, because so many times, not necessarily you, but so many times we see people respecting that. If it's your team, take the shot, and all of those things, right? I'm gonna get your teammates involved person.
Right.
So, I understand that point of it. So I get your argument. I just feel like there's so many people that we have so much respect for doing just that. If they feel like they got to do it, then they do it. It's on my shoulders. It's on my back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but I agree. I think that he is leading the vote. I feel like, Joker would have to die for them to put him too far back. But I would love to see Shaq get it.
He should 2 seed. What are they, the 2 seed right now in the West?
Yeah.
And 22 and 9.
Yeah, he should definitely be in that. He averaging 30 and change.
Yeah.
But here's a wild card. Halliburton.
I got him 4th.
Halliburton hoping like they ain't got the record right now, because I think they probably.
Well, he's really balling.
But he going crazy. Like he giving you 30 and 10, 30 and 12, and then I think he had a stat where he was like, what he had, like 60 assists and 4 turnovers in the last 4 or 5 games or whatever. Like, yeah, he nice.
Yeah. And when he first got drafted, and I'm like, I got a ton of his rookie cards, and I'm like, man, I hope he can overcome this name. I didn't think his name would let him be like a super duper star, but he's killing it.
He definitely killing. He got a weird jumper.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that thing is super wet. I don't understand how that thing's super wet, but that thing is super wet.
It's like he in Indiana. You can get away with the weird jumpers in Indiana.
Yeah, true. We've seen it for 18 years.
Right. Exactly.
That is definitely true. Wow. I was gonna mention Halliburton, but you beat me to it. Embiid I think he's a clear front runner for MVP. I think if the Lakers weren't under 500, 2 games under 500 now, I think AD would have a solid case, because he's been playing extremely well.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that cloud over you, where people got this opinion of you that ain't really true. Because it ain't really true. The boy really is hooping at a super high level, but let him have a bad game. Let him have a game where he scores 8 points or he has a horrible second half or something, and the narrative would be, he's so inconsistent, but he's been very consistent over this last month and a half. But
yeah, the thing is, though, a month and a half is an 82-game season. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's a kind of a unfair narrative. No, it's earned.
I think it's an unfair narrative.
Definitely earned.
It's definitely earned.
I disagree. I think that it depends what your expectations are. Are your expectations for him to get 30 every night, and then if he doesn't get 30, it means he had a bad game? Because he's one of those dudes where he impacts the game in a lot of different ways.
My
So
expectation.
even when he scores 17 points and has 10 rebounds, he's played excellent defense.
My expectation is for him to be a number 1 overall pick and be a top 10 player in the NBA and go down as one of the greatest power forwards / centers and defensive players that we've ever seen as he was billed when he was drafted out of Kentucky. That's what I expect.
And those type of guys, when we go back and say, what's their lowest scoring game? You got to think about it. That's a trivia question. For him, it's like, bro, there's a lot of them.
I think outside of Brian, everybody got a lot of them.
No, not everybody.
You can go to all these dudes and they got games where they score less than 10
everybody
points.
has them.
Brian,
Everybody has
outside
them.
of Brian, I think that standard is for him only. Rest of these dudes have those
Everybody
highs and lows
has
as well.
them, but not their trivia questions. They don't happen a bunch of times. And they definitely don't happen a bunch of times in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Every
he'll
other game.
literally ball out and you'll be like, okay, we back. Then just like Roy, you get knocked out the next game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 41 game, 11 the next. That's crazy. That's a crazy drop.
Right.
Right.
But you know,
Averaging
that was last year. He's been hooping consistently for, like you said, about 6 weeks straight of just hooping, and he's been the bright spot for the Los Angeles Lakers. Bron will have great games, and then Bron will have his moments where he does have a great game. I believe he had a 12-point game the other night.
Bron's just older. You know,
I mean, he got to be able to do that now. He has to be.
Yeah, Bron just, the grind of a season where you have one game and then you fly and you got another game.
Mm-hmm.
When Bron got rest, like for that play-in, when he got to that tournament where he had days in between games, you going to get Bron.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And that's why I'm saying AD has to be AD all the time to give LeBron that luxury to be 39 years old.
I think he's done his part. I think they just got as they've had since Bron has been there, they got a flawed roster. They got a roster that is devoid of shooting. In today's NBA, you got to have shooting.
So we got, are we all unanimous with Embiid being a front runner?
Yeah.
Now, we said Halliburton could be in the mix. So is Halliburton the clear-cut MIP?
Was there anybody else? I think it was somebody else they was talking about.
Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese has to be in there. Tyrese, would he put like 10 points on his average?
Yeah.
I understand that, but we just said that Halliburton is balling out crazy, and he was nowhere near the MVP discussion last year.
Right.
So for him to make that jump, shouldn't that automatically qualify him as most improved player as well?
I wouldn't argue it.
I mean, I could see both of them happening. But if it didn't happen, I would say, okay, well, maybe Maxey improved more from where he was. Not to say he's better.
Mm-hmm.
Halliburton was
You know
a
what I
double
mean?
game last year.
He was balling
and he
last
was an
year.
all-star.
Yeah, so it's like
But
Maxey wasn't an all-star. He's going to be an all-star this year.
Yeah. So there might be a little, but
Okay,
he could clearly get most improved and MVP though.
Well, let me ask it a different way then. What's the bigger jump? No star to all-star or all-star to
superstar
MVP candidate?
I think for this situation, I think that Halliburton playing in a small market, that's a bigger jump. If he was to get the MVP, that would be a bigger jump. Just because, like I said, Maxey's playing in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's eyes are at some point on Philly. It's a lot of people that never see Indiana play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So for him to, if he can do that, that's a bigger jump to me in my eyes.
Okay. Who's coach of the year so far?
Man.
Who
you know who I'm rooting for?
OKC. Who coach OKC?
Dagnall.
Yeah, whoever that is, he got to be whoever he is, he's got to be coach of the year.
I got him over there. I got him up there, but I'm rooting for Jamal Mosley.
Where he at?
Orlando.
That's a good pick too. If they make the playoffs, he got to get it because they wasn't even supposed to be in that conversation.
Right. I'm rooting for him. It's an outside chance.
So Missoula's not in the.
Not in mine.
How?
I would
They
put
got the best
It's a team with great expectations.
Yeah, I don't always just go off of just record. I will put Chris Finch in there, Timberwolves.
That's a good pick too. That's a real good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great pick, actually. The only reason why I bring up Missoula is because it's his second full year as coach. I know the Boston Celtics are great; they're expected to win a title, but as we can see over in LA, expectations don't mean shit.
Wait, hold on. Nick Nurse got to be in that conversation too. Then
Word.
Yeah,
but I think listen, all that talk about the Lakers. I think when the chips come on the table and if they get into the playoffs, they're gonna be hard out.
And just like they were last year.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
Totally.
I think they got one of those rosters that's built for the playoffs. They're not super deep. They don't have a bunch of young guys. Like teams like OKC and Sacramento, they built for the regular season. The Lakers is built for the playoffs.
The grind that you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you got a day off in between games, you get a better version of Brian where he really locked in. Like Lakers would be tough.
Gotcha. And that ends the first quarter. We're heading into the second quarter. Trade deadline is right around the corner. This is your wheelhouse.
Right.
So what do you expect?
I think the Knicks already made a good move. Grabbing OG was a great move. I wish the Sixers would have grabbed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you say you want to address what me and Rand said last week?
Rand said something about it being a lateral move, OG and RJ Barrett. And I think it was more because I think RJ averaged like 17, 18 points a game. But I think OG is one of those guys where when you building a contender, he fits. It don't matter whatever the Knicks, they still need to make another move. So they're going to need to grab a superstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they go grab that superstar, OG fits.
Right.
RJ Barrett wouldn't have fit next to if they go grab another piece because he needs the basketball. He's more of a one-on-one player. OG fit next to anybody.
OG fits better if they go get Mitchell.
If they go get whoever the next piece is, OG going for. When you go build your championship roster, you need an OG on your roster.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he fits. He's a versatile defender. He can shoot the three. He can go get his own bucket, and he plays above the rim. Like he's more athletic than what you expected him to be. Like he's a
so
piece.
you like him to be a better overall player than.
He's a better overall player in regards to, like, when you run line the stats up, they probably similar in regards to their points per game and all that stuff. But in regards to fit, and if you're trying to win a championship, you need an OG rather than the RJ.
I agree.
So what do you got as far as the Lakers go?
They got to do it. I mean, and I heard they was reluctant to go get Zach LaVine because of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
He got that big contract. But I think Zach fits in regards to, I think they missing that firecracker, right? That guy who can go get you 30. And when it's not Brian or AD, that other guy who can go crazy. And that's what they missing. They missing that guy that you scared to leave. They don't have anybody else on the team that if they open in the corner and you miss a rotation, you're like, oh shit. You're not thinking that. You're like,
not even Reeves.
Not even Reeves. Like, even if you leave him, you're like, all right, we fucked up, but all right, cool. You know, turn and rebound. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have nobody else that strikes any fear into the other team. Like, there's nobody that you got to put a scouting report on outside of Brian and AD. You go grab Zach, or they need to grab somebody. OG would have been great, but if they grab Zach, that's who I would target.
What about DeRozan?
Only thing they got worried about, and I like DeRozan, and maybe I'm just wrong because I was wrong about them when they grabbed Westbrook. So I think in regards to DeRozan, I'm like, he don't stretch the floor. He don't shoot the three, but DeRozan is a bucket. And he can shoot the basketball. It's not like you can just leave him wide open. He can still shoot the ball, and he can get his own bucket, and he can play in the pick and roll. If you can grab DeRozan and attach Caruso to it, I'd do it.
I heard they trying to keep Caruso, though.
The Bulls? I bet too. That's a good piece. It's 3D.
But they might blow up the team, but he might be the one that stays.
They should blow up the team, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's done over there. Whatever they try to make happen over there ain't happening.
They should give the big. Who was the big name? Who they got at the five?
No. Man, Zuka. Vucevic.
Vucevic.
Yeah, okay.
They should be moving him. They should be moving DeRozan.
Vucevic is nerdy.
Right.
It's all cats are confusing sometimes. I think they the same damn person.
They should be getting rid of all them boys. They should be getting rid of all them.
Let them young
play.
They're gonna have me looking dumb in these streets. I'm like, because it's a few of them.
Right.
What these bitches want from
Anybody, any other moves? What does Philly do? What does Miami do?
I think Siakam's the perfect
you
fit
think,
for them.
You think? Because I had Siakam going to either Atlanta or Golden State.
Oh,
Atlanta. I heard the Sixers was interested in their guard, the kid they got for Atlanta at the 2 spot.
Yeah,
with the Javante Murray.
Yeah,
I heard the Lakers wanted him.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So I mean, if they trying to move him, that means they trying to open the roster up. They giving up. But see, I say Siakam for the Sixers because Siakam could play the 4 for you because you already got a big. And that makes you super versatile on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And Siakam can shoot the basketball. He can get his own bucket. Now you become a great defensive team because now you got all this versatility. I think he fits. And he doesn't move Maxey off the basketball. Maxey can still be great and B can still be him. I think the only thing that I would worry about is how does it affect Harris?
Is he in the trade? Like, is he?
No, I think you got the money because you had to take on money for that for the Harden trade, so you can move Mars. Who the other boy they got? Batum. They got money on. They got dead money on their books that they can trade.
They keep Harris. They keep Oubre.
I'm keeping all that. I'm moving the money. A pick. You grab Siakam. The Sixers right in the conversation.
Yeah,
they might get out.
That's a 20 points per game scorer who plays defense.
They get out. You put him at the 4, they should be your favorites to get out because they match up with everybody.
Yeah.
And they will have the best player in the conference.
I still got Boston.
No.
I still got Boston.
No.
You think that Boston would beat them with Siakam?
Yes.
With the bet. So you saying when you go into a series, right? And the rosters is evened out, right? It would be very close roster wise, right? It's going to come down to who got the best player. We got the best player, and not only do we have the best player, we got a player you can't match up with. That means that you got to double this guy. You have to double Embiid because you don't match up with him. Philly got to get out of there. It's on Embiid if they don't get out.
It was the same way
it wasn't.
last year.
It wasn't.
It was. They were evenly
Boston
matched.
was better. Boston was better.
Embiid was the MVP of the league.
He was the
clearly
best player, but Boston was the
floor.
better team.
And they lost because Embiid locked up and Harden locked up. They both folded.
Boston was the better basketball team.
They should have lost.
Boston was the better team. Walking into that series, Boston was a clear favorite.
Embiid was the better player. He was the best player on the floor.
Boston
He's
was
better
the
than all
clear favorites.
I think he was the best player on the floor, but I think Boston was the better team. And we're looking at a Harden that was on paper is James Harden, but that wasn't him.
He sure looked like that in the odd number games.
A couple games, but
he did his part. I'm not a Harden guy. Harden got you game 1. Harden got you game 5. He did his job. I agree with you. That's on Embiid. Game 6 in Philly, your superstar brings it home. That's just what it is. That's just your job. He ain't bring it home.
I agree, because I'm a guy that if you give me a valiant effort and you lose, I'm going to be like, all right, you did it. You know what I mean? What more do you want him to do? He did drop the ball, but I think that they were a better team. I think
Boston
that Boston
was the better team.
I'm fine with that, but I'm just saying, they're the better team. I got the MVP and the clear-cut best player on the floor, so that narrows the gap. That evens things out a bit.
We've seen that many times where Brown was the best player, but the other team was just way better, and it didn't matter.
Boston was not way better.
They were significantly better than the
Golden State.
76ers.
Golden State 2017 with Durant was way better.
Go to Golden State when
2017.
before the first chip, they weren't way better, but they were better than Cleveland. And they lost in LeBron, and that was maybe the best version of LeBron we got. Like he was here.
That's what
he was a monster, and that wasn't nearly enough to knock them boys off. You can have the best player, but if they got the best team, it's hard to. You're not knocking in 7-game series. That's what 7-game series is built for.
Averaged the triple double, right?
Was it? No.
That
That's the year he
series?
was. That's
'Cause
where
that was the series
Iggy
when-
got it. He averaged like
Yeah.
38 a game that series where he went
What,
crazy.
that wasn't the
Yeah,
one when
but
they
he
lost?
shit, he didn't
When
shoot a great. He didn't shoot.
Oh no,
a great
no, he
percentage.
averaged it in the one they won.
No, the one they lost. I think the one they lost when first year KD
Okay.
got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know the first year, Kyrie went out after game one.
Right.
Then,
Love was out before
Love-
the finals even started.
oh, okay. I knew that they were both out.
Yeah,
And he had to,
He-
you know,
he tore his
he went to
shoulder.
war with Delhi.
with the
Come
war
on.
with Delhi.
Bro, he
pushed him.
Now my guy showing
But-
up to a gunfight with a pocket knife and get criticized.
Definitely.
But-
That's another.
Sixers grab Siakam.
Yeah.
They get out. They supposed to get out. We find out about Embiid. That's what we do.
We found out about Embiid last year.
Nah, I ain't hold that on.
Found out about Embiid last year. You got a game 6 to close out at your crib. Y'all lost that. Then you got a game 7. Okay, you got another chance to close out and go. Y'all folded. Y'all turned into lawn
Siakam in
chairs.
Philly.
They folded.
They getting out.
I still
This
think
is coming
Boston was
from a
better,
guy-
but they folded.
This
They
coming
did.
from a guy who I've been saying Siakam is a great player, and you've been refuting that for years.
I don't think he's a great player. I think he's a good player. I think he'd be a great piece on that team. But Siakam's not a 1. He's more like a 2-3.
That was never the
That's
argument.
not a great player. 2-3 ain't a great player. He's a
you're-
fringe all-star.
No, he's actually an all-star.
He's been an all-star, but he makes the all-star, doesn't make the all-star. You ain't.
Yeah, like he's on the cusp.
I'm saying
He
that
was
on a
actually an
yearly
all-star.
basis, like he can
He not
make it or he
guaranteed.
cannot
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and you ain't arguing either way.
What about Buddy Hill to Memphis?
Ain't it too late for them to be trying
No,
to
I
add?
don't think. No, I think they got a legit shot to get into the play-in, make noise, and get into the playoffs. And I don't really blame them for thinking that.
I don't see the path. You get in, you got to go play in. You get play in, that means you a 7-8 seed. You got to see Denver or you got to see one of them. You going home.
Let's say Minnesota and OKC
Minnesota, yeah.
stay at 1 and 2. You got a legit shot to knock them off. Ain't nobody really believing in them yet. They look legit, but it's just like Sacramento last year. You kept telling me they the 3 seed, B. It don't mean nothing. They gonna
Right.
see somebody, they gonna knock them off in the first round. And you was right. What if Memphis, after they got wild chips on their shoulder, they hate a few teams. They feel like they got Ja back, and they feel like on most nights, Ja's the best player on the floor. They starting to get a rhythm. They starting to get a groove. Say if everybody stay healthy, say they win the next 20 of the next 30 games or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
You're right. I agree with that.
So you think so with that being said, with them seemingly having a chance to still make noise, what's out there for them?
I mean, like he said, Buddy Hill, anytime you can add shooting, ain't everybody wants shooting.
Yeah.
Buddy Hill been supposed to been on the move for 3 years.
I know, right?
that guy ain't going nowhere, man. I'm so sick of hearing about Buddy Hill. Like, we've been talking about Buddy Hill for a
They should have
while.
been moved him though. Like they got so many guards down there. Like he just taking minutes away from the young boys. They got. For real, they might as well let him go to a contender.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it's like, man, you hear Buddy Hill in trade talks all the time, and it winds up being
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And with that, we are headed into halftime. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors. This is halftime, and halftime is sponsored by If You Know, You Know Trivia Games. This is a trivia game created by a great friend of mine and friend to the show, Saquion Gullett. If You Know, You Know is a 90s to 2020s hip-hop and R&B trivia game. Is created by Saquion Gullett. As I said, it's Star Corner Production, Star Corner Games, and it's the game you never knew you needed. Guaranteed to have you singing, dancing, laughing, and reminiscing. You'll probably learn something too. In the most fun way ever. Is for ages 13 and up. Because with hip-hop, we have explicit lyrics. But yeah, if you know, you know. trivia game. Get it on Amazon and wherever games are sold. That is our halftime sponsor. And we are back. This is High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd with special guest Saquion Gullett. We are heading into quarter number 3. Shaq's jersey is getting retired in Orlando. It's a bit overdue, if you ask me.
Right. I agree.
I think it's February 13th where he gets it retired. Do you think there are other Orlando Magic players worthy of having their jersey retired? That's question number 1. And question number 2, rising star Pablo Banchero, could he be on pace to be one of the great Orlando Magic players to get his jersey retired one day if he stays?
Well, first, I think it's just my bias, but I feel like Penny. They should retire Penny's number.
All right. I agree.
Even though you could argue Tracy McGrady too.
Mac wore the number 2.
You know what I mean? But I feel like, man, I think that Penny and Shaq came at a time when they kind of made Orlando relevant to the point that we still look at them as a viable team today. Like the franchise Orlando is viable because of Shaq and Penny. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I feel like maybe, like I said, maybe it's my bias, but Penny definitely.
Penny?
Mm-hmm.
What about Dwight?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Dwight. I think Dwight's a Hall of Famer. Like one of the greatest players to ever play, if you ask me. Especially when he was on that run. You know, come on. I mean, we forget about Dwight. He stayed too long.
The casuals forget about Dwight. Dwight was special.
My man, he stained his.
And we ain't talking about we talking about hoops.
That was weeks ago.
My man stained his.
We talking about basketball.
Back of his car.
That happened like 2 weeks ago, though. We talking about.
Yo, when I think of Dwight, I can't help but to think of that.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think about 4 defensive player of the years. I think about dragging a middling team to the NBA finals. I think about Olympic gold medalists. I think about almost 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds. I think about that.
I feel like we were. Other than that, we remember Dwight for like the issues, the Houston years, and stuff like that. When really, that time in Orlando was all time great.
Right, it's unfortunate. Yeah, there are a few stains that. Other than that,
yeah, the fallout with Kobe.
The fallout with Kobe
like
was
that,
wild. Like I was at a point where, because I'm a Lakers fan, I'm a super ultimate Kobe fan, and I was taking sides. I thought Dwight wasn't playing the way he was supposed to be playing. Kobe was going all crazy. Year 13, 14 or 15, averaging 27 points per game when he shouldn't have had to. Wind up tearing his Achilles and all that. They end up losing in the first round when they had a super team put together. Although Nash was, Nash wasn't Nash at that point. But I digress. Back to Shaq. Yeah, Shaq definitely well deserving of getting his jersey retired in Orlando. I do agree with you thinking Penny should get his jersey retired too, although Mac won 2 scoring titles in that same number, but it was a lackluster team, never got out of the first round. So if I had to choose between the two, I'm definitely choosing Penny. And I think Dwight should get his number retired in Orlando as well.
That shouldn't even be an argument. Anybody that argues that is absolutely crazy.
Right.
Shaq shouldn't have his jersey retired down there.
What?
He left the franchise high and dry. He gave him 4 years. That ain't enough. Dwight should. I wasn't even thinking about Dwight. Dwight should have his jersey retired. Penny shouldn't, and Mac should. I'm a Mac guy. And you got to choose between Mac and Penny. Mac was a better basketball player when he played for Orlando. Even though they had a middling team, Mac was arguably, you could argue Mac was the best, outside of Shaq, he was the best player in the league during that stretch of basketball.
I can argue that, but you could argue that Penny was the best player in the league.
In the league?
Yes.
He played with Shaq. You say, all right, minus Shaq. No. You think so?
I said you could argue it.
Mac was that guy. Mac was
No,
putting
he
up
was.
35 a night, and they
I
had
had a
those big league-
$260 authentic T-Mac jersey back then. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
remember
yeah,
Mac, you know Mac, my guy.
Yeah.
Mac shouldn't have his jersey retired there. Penny shouldn't either. Neither should Shaq. It's Dwight. They ain't do enough for the organization. Now, as players, full body of work, Shaq should. Shaq is one of the greatest players ever played the game. So I get why the thought process would be that since he donned that uniform, that it should be, but he ain't do enough for that franchise.
I think he did.
My next question, since you're saying Shaq shouldn't get his jersey retired in Orlando, I disagree, but okay. Shaq got his jersey retired in LA. He's getting it retired in Orlando. Is there any other spots?
For Shaq? No.
I don't think
Not
so.
Miami?
Man, he won a chip there, but no. He
I
was
wouldn't
he there for
retire in
3
Miami.
years, 2 years?
I think that Orlando, because again, Orlando was an expansion team, bro. Like,
But are you looking at Shaq's? If Shaq,
I'm looking
like
at
let's
their
say
impact
let's
on the
say
franchise.
Shaq left Orlando and that was the high point of his career. Let's say he go to L.A. and he has a lackluster career from that point on. Would you still be looking at it as Shaq should have his jersey retired for Orlando? I think you're looking at his full body of work that which became Shaq, the 4-time champion and all those things.
right.
Just those 4 years in Orlando, to me, I don't think he did enough.
Partially, I do. I understand that, and I agree. But I also, Shaq was a phenom coming out of LSU.
Facts.
Came to Orlando, a expansion team. Made them something that there were Orlando jerseys all across the country because of Shaq and Penny. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, what they did for the franchise, on top of them being great players, says to me, you are in the Orlando Magic legendary lore.
So
You will
all right,
never think about the Orlando Magic and not think about Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway.
the way that you just put it, then, so I'm assuming that you feel like Bron should have his jersey retired with LA Lakers then. With that same premise, like you got to feel the same way.
I think he's on the verge for LA now. I feel like I'm a LeBron fan,
Right.
so I'm a Laker fan right now.
Right.
So
Me
Both
as
of
well.
y'all.
So
Both of y'all.
so but a lot of those old, Laker fans will have a problem with that.
And I understand. But the way you eloquently explain why you think Shaq should. Bron got that same argument, right? He saved the franchise.
You're talking about a franchise with when he came, what they had 16 championships.
16
He had 16 championships.
Orlando
but they
was
were down and out. They were expansion team
He
level.
brought him back up. But
They weren't
Orlando,
expansion team level. They missed the playoffs 5 straight years.
5
Kobe retired.
straight
They were a
years.
bad
They had a year
team.
where they won like 17 games. Like Lakers was down and out, and they had no path to getting back. It was no longer a destination. It became a destination again when Bron got there. Now it's okay to go to LA now because Bron done fixed it. They had no path to getting back to the Los Angeles Lakers. And Bron came and saved the franchise.
brought him a chip.
The Orlando Magic were an expansion team. They had no history, no nothing, no titles, no
Sharif
relevancy.
Abdul
no
Rahim
everything.
have his jersey retired with the Memphis
No,
Grizzlies?
because the
They were
Vancouver,
extension-
because they were still so damn bad, they had to leave Vancouver and go to Memphis.
They made the
to be
playoffs in
relevant.
Vancouver.
No,
With
Sharif
Hubie,
Abdul
back-to-back.
Rahim.
Yo.
Yeah, they were in Memphis.
that was one
They
of my
weren't in
guys, though.
That
I
was
ain't gonna hold you.
Vancouver.
I
With Shane
like
Battier,
Abdul
that was
Rahim.
Vancouver.
But no, but I feel like you there was no little Sharif doll. You know why? Because these guys they made that team relevant, bro. I'm telling you, like to this day, when you
To
think
me,
of Orlando,
Shaq left them high and dry.
and
He
you
gave us
had
4 and left
you forgot about Dwight Howard, who was an all-time great player.
Right.
Nobody can argue that. They had T-Mac. They had, even though he was hurt a lot of the time, Grant Hill, all of these people. When you think of Orlando, 30 years later, Shaq and Penny.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to dispute that. I just don't feel like, in regards to when you have your jersey retired, it's got to come with certain things have had to be accomplished. And it's not necessarily just a championship. You got to mean something to that organization. I understand your argument, and I'm not really arguing against it, but I don't feel like in Shaq's 4 years or how many years he was there, I don't feel like he did enough to have that jersey retired. I feel like when you compare his resume at Orlando with Dwight did a lot more for the organization.
Absolutely.
He should be retired. His best years of his career were in Orlando.
I'm sure
Shaq's best
be.
years were in LA.
I'm sure Dwight's jersey will be retired. Shaq is older. You know, you got to let that play out.
Right.
But I feel like Shaq is very deserving of it.
I mean, like I said, I feel like it's tomorrow. I
And I
think we're
get your
looking at the
argument.
full body of work.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, full body of work. That's why we're retiring.
I think that you know, that comes into play.
Not when it was
because if
I own the Orlando Magic, I'm not retiring Shaq. You left me high and dry. You thought we wasn't good enough.
All right, that's personal. That ain't got shit
That's
to
not
do with
personal.
Shaq
It
did.
happened.
That ain't got nothing to do with what Shaq did when he was in Orlando. Shaq should have his jersey retired. Shaq was the number 1 overall draft pick. He lived up to the hype. He was rookie of the year. Year 3 of Shaq's tenure in Orlando, they got to the NBA Finals. Year 4, they got swept by the Bulls, but it was in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, from year 2 on until Shaq departed, they were championship contenders. You can't say the same for Dwight Howard.
They were. I mean, I don't know about all that, but Dwight got to the finals. Dwight had success in the playoffs with Orlando. He got a better body of work in LA in Orlando than Shaq do. Like I said, his best years of his career were in Orlando. Doesn't compare.
I'm not.
Shaq had a much better overall career. I mean, no question there. But at Orlando, it's Dwight. Dwight is the best player ever donned that uniform.
I'm not even comparing the two, saying one shouldn't get it and one should. I'm saying both of them should be.
I just don't think
That's
Shaq
what-
gave me
that's how I
enough in that uniform for me to retire his job.
And I'm saying that everything else kind of offsets that. He did live up to the hype. He did play absolutely great basketball, and then set this franchise up for the next 30 years. That's how I feel. They came early enough into Orlando and completely changed it. Like, everybody to this day, you can wear a Magic jersey and feel cool because of them.
So you're talking about from an impactful standpoint and from as far as a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just creating a model for the Orlando
Right.
Magic.
On top of playing well.
On top of playing
Yeah,
great.
yeah, exactly.
On top of so he brought that.
So I feel like it's like what you mean to the franchise. Like most, and a lot of the teams that are, you know, the Lakers and the Celtics, the players that they retire, of course they're great players, but it's what they meant to the franchise. You know what I mean? And I think what Shaq and Penny mean to Orlando is everything.
Yeah, right now, as great as Dwight was, and I love Dwight. I'm always an advocate for Dwight Howard to get in the Hall of Fame, to be top 75, to have his jersey retired in Orlando as well. I believe Shaq is still to this day more beloved in Orlando than Dwight Howard, even though he left.
Right.
I think
It just took some time. They had to get over it. It's like a breakup. You know what I mean?
I don't think Nick Anderson's still over it. I don't think he over it. I don't think he ever gonna get over it.
Yeah, probably not.
So, yay to me, yay to you, nay.
Facts, nay.
Well,
Get that thing retired in LA.
That's he already got it retired in LA. That's gonna be a hot take, boy. That clip's gonna go viral. Raymond Byrd said Shaq's jersey should be retired in Orlando. That's wild, crazy. Quarter number 4, gentlemen. Darvin Ham is getting a lot of criticism. Adrian Griffin in Milwaukee has been getting criticism as well. Black coaches in the NBA, black coaches in sports, they're shorter margin for error,
Absolutely.
like shorter leash.
Absolutely. And I don't see how there's any talk. Even Stephen A., I got to criticize him, which I haven't all the way forgiven Stephen A. yet anyway. Not that he cares, but how can you... Stephen A. throwing what I feel like is throwing fuel on a fire, saying that he can be fired because of their defensive play, when they still got one of the best records in the league. So if you have one of the best records in the league, you lose most of your games to Indiana, but everybody else you completely trash, right? Okay. We still have one of the best records. We going through some defensive struggles. Let us figure it out. While we have one of the best records in the league, how can you fire that coach?
Yeah.
Why is that even a talking point?
Right. Like with Budenholzer, right? Like they had the best record in the league last year, and he lost his job. I think sometimes certain jobs, the expectations are super high. It's championship or bust down there, right? You go out and go get Dame, it's got to be a championship or bust. And when they see some kinks in the armor and you don't look the part, that's what comes along with it. Like we seen, forget the guy's name, where they were down there in Cleveland with Brian.
David Black.
They had got to the NBA Finals. He got fired.
He had the best record in the conference at the time.
Right.
He
got fired because we looking at you like, yo, we don't think you can get us over the hump. And I think they looking at him like he can't get them over the hump. But overall, I do agree with you. I agree with the direction he was going in. I think black coaches are held to a super crazy high standard. And when they do get, like, they usually only get the Milwaukee jobs. You usually get the job like the Orlando Magic where their expectations are super low. You don't get the championship or bust situation like he got. And, but I think when you do get those jobs, that's what comes along with it. It is like
before the All-Star break though.
I mean, his job shouldn't be online. He should be able to see this thing all the way through. But I get it because they looking at you like it was supposed to be it's championship or bust. And we looking at the expectations right now. I don't think many people are feeling like Milwaukee's getting out of the East.
Even being the 2 seed in the East right now. And
even with being the 2 seed, I think they looking at him like, oh, you might be a step below Boston. And
they are.
If Sixers go do something, you might be a step behind them. And our expectations is we went out and got Dame.
Right.
It's to go bring this whole thing home. And if you don't get it done, you're gonna be the one who get your head chopped off.
Yeah, I mean, that comes with those expectations. I mean, but I feel like you gotta, we've seen so many of those teams that were good go through stretches where they had to figure it out.
They get to grow with it, right?
Yeah.
And they ain't letting him grow.
Right.
They let Steve Nash. They let him grow down there.
Oh.
Well, he didn't even deserve it. They let him grow. They let him go through a year or two, coming up short before they actually pulled the plug on it. So I agree with you. And black coaches across the board, basketball, football, they usually don't give you that job. You don't start there. You don't get that job. You get the job where you're supposed to suck, and when you go there and you suck, you get fired because you suck.
Right. Darvin Ham in LA, the criticism is warranted.
I think it's X and O's. I mean, even though last year he got more out of it than what you expected, right? They got to the conference finals, and now you walk into the year and like, all right, we improved the roster. We're supposed to be competing for a champion. Anytime you got LeBron, it is compete for a championship, right? Mm-hmm. But I think his issue ain't just wins and losses. I think your rotations is all over the place. It's X and O's thing. Like I think that's what people are looking at. Are you a good coach? Or are you a good enough coach to win us a championship? I don't think it got nothing to do with him being a black coach or whatever. I think it's got something that people looking at him like, are you good enough to get the job done?
Is he?
I don't know. Like he did a adequate job last year, right? They got to the conference finals from the play-in situation, and they weren't expected to do that. But then I look at him this year, and even last year, man, we would go back and forth for times like, bro, what is you doing? It's the obvious. This guy shouldn't be in the line. Like you shouldn't be playing Patrick Beverly and who was that? And Dennis Schroeder together. Like nobody would do that, but you're doing it. Like he sometimes puts groups of guys together. It's like, bro, why do you have Vandy and Cam Reddish in your starting lineup when they both averaging 5 points a game? You know what I mean? It's like some things don't make sense.
Knock down a corner three. Like you got this guy in this corner, this guy in that corner, and neither one of them can knock down a corner three. Like
he be doing stuff sometimes. Like, all right, you got what's the boy name?
D'Lo.
Like I don't know. It's just certain time when you got Reeves. We don't have the luxury of having Reeves coming off. We don't have that kind of team. We need all the points we can get. And, we don't have the luxury of playing him 20 minutes. Like, he got to play 30 plus minutes. But
I think it's crazy that you can say, what's the Bulls' name? And I can just name him. Right. How did I know that?
listen, I ain't want to say white bull. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to say. But, you know what I mean?
Some Reeves.
That's a wild.
I think his X's and O's be all over the place sometimes.
I don't think he has X's and O's.
I don't think he's a great coach. But sometimes, you're a motivator, right? And he hard-nosed. Like, when you ain't supposed to believe, he one of those people that can make you believe. Like, let's run through this wall. Let's,
right.
come together. Like, he one of those kind of guys.
He and Antonio Pierce are the same person.
I think Antonio Pierce is a little better than him, but I wasn't a fan of that hire. But I was like, okay, I've been wrong before. Maybe he's gonna do something that shows me why he got hired. I don't think that he's shown me yet
at all. I don't think he's I don't like with the roster, like small stuff. That's we fans. We watch him from behind the screen. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't be looking and say Dennis Schroeder and which we call it should be playing together. And you should know that because this is what you do all day. This is what I mean.
You always kind of think like maybe there's something else to it,
right? I mean, we're fans, but we're also fans of nuance. We're fans of the game. We're fans of the ins and outs of it. So we ain't just watching, just be watching. We watching to see that type of stuff and be like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. I think he be throwing shit at the wall. Like, I'm just if it work, I'm gonna look like if they play well together, I'm gonna look like a genius and y'all all wrong.
WCW Halloween Havoc, spin the wheel. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Remember them matches? Like, go, yo, what are we doing out here?
Yeah, I'm not a big Darvin Ham guy.
But there are, Monty in Detroit struggling. Is he going to be able to finish out the year?
I think you stuck with it. You gave that dude a 7-year contract. You gave him a league. You gave him a player contract.
The facts.
You gotta rock with him at least. You got at least him 2-3. He's done a shitty job. I don't care how bad that team is. You don't lose 28 straight. You don't lose 20. Is it? I could go coach an NBA team. It's going to be hard for me to lose 28 straight, baby. It's going to be hard for me to lose 28 straight. That's a lot. In a league where some nights you didn't, I'm guaranteeing that 28 games straight, they didn't call people on back-to-backs. You didn't call people flying from LA back over here, and you still losing? Nah, I don't know.
That's tough, man. That's tough. I like Monty a lot.
I do too.
And I think he did a tremendous job in building the Phoenix Suns up.
They made a mistake. He should still be there.
I believe that.
Right. He should still be there. They should have never blown up that 2021 roster.
I get why you do it though. When you think you close and you got a KD move, who doesn't make the move? You know what I mean? As much as a fan, I'm not a KD guy, but you tell I own an organization and I'm right here and I got Devin Booker and I'm like, I can put KD next to him. I'm probably doing it.
What I'm saying, they was making moves before that though. They was making moves before, because KD was the end of 2023?
They kept the roster. They came up short the next year. They got to the finals. Came up short the next year, got knocked off the first round or second round of Dallas.
Yeah.
They got knocked off by Dallas. They came back the next year and they got off to that slow start where they look like, are you plateaued? You got to the finals and that was kind of it, y'all. Y'all done plateaued. I get the KD move. I would have done it too. Like, you tell me I'm right here and I can piece KD next to Book. I'm doing it.
I agree. But I feel like KD first of all, we all know he's great. Mm-hmm. On paper, it's okay, KD is the right move, but it never really works out.
Never.
It only worked out in Golden State, and that was already working out.
It was already done. The work
you know
was
what
done.
I mean? All he had to do was come and form the head of Exodia.
Go make some shots.
And that was it.
But I'm telling you, Bradley Beal move look like it's not working out, right?
Right.
I would have done that too. Like, you tell me I could put Bradley Beal, KD, and Book on the same team with the Nets. I'm doing that too. You tell me I can put together together Voltron. I'm doing it too.
In his defense, He said it wasn't going to work from
I
day
said
one.
it.
From
Oh, you
day
did?
one.
As soon as it happened, I said it's not going to work.
I was
He
hoping
did.
it didn't work.
I was hoping it didn't work.
I was
either.
hoping it
But
didn't
he
work.
said it. He said it's
But
not going to work.
Yo, Westbrook to LA. I'm doing it. You tell me I can go foreign Voltron and I can cheat and,
Well, listen.
and win it. I'm doing it.
And I got killed. I got killed for that because I said
you
it
got killed
immediately.
because
Yeah.
people want to see Bron lose, and they thought that was going to be the team that stopped Bron from winning. So that's why you got killed.
Listen.
Yeah, I dig that. That's true.
Oh, which one? Which one? Either the Westbrook or the
No, to the. I
For the
said that
Brooklyn?
was. I said Westbrook to the Lakers wasn't going to work. I said KD, Harden, and Kyrie wasn't going to work.
You
in
definitely
Brooklyn.
said, yeah. I
I
remember.
thought Westbrook was going to I thought that was the counter.
Listen, the Monstars took Westbrook's skills when he was in LA. That was the only problem. Like, other than that I would have did it too.
Yo, it looked like when the Nets grabbed Harden, I was like, yo, the only way you can compete with that is to go grab Westbrook. That's the only way.
Listen,
And he came
None
out
of
there.
it worked.
Westbrook looked like, yo, Westbrook.
I told you the Monstars took his.
None of it worked.
Did he wear number 0 in LA?
Yeah, he did. he did.
It's telling.
There you go. That is the end of the fourth quarter, and now we are heading into OT. I know everyone in here except Neil has seen the Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay. A lot of things were said. A lot of it was true. I'll go out on a limb and say 85% of it was true. 15% of it was pure bullshit.
Nah, I would say 85% is true. 8-9% embellished, and then some
Some outlandish
Yeah.
nonsense, right? It's been a lot of feedback, a lot of reaction to it. And people have taken offense to not only what Katt said, but Shannon Sharp for allowing Katt to actually say the things on his platform and to, after all said and done, review it and everything, put it out. We've seen a case where the Drink Champs caught a lot of flack when they did the Kanye West interview and they put it out. They had to wind up taking it down, apologizing for it and stuff like that. I don't think Katt's interview was to that degree as far as anti-Semitic remarks and things of that nature, just crazy stuff that Kanye was saying. But Katt made a lot of noise, man. People are really heated. So I'll start with Saquion. What was your take on this Katt Williams interview, man? Which is that almost like 20 million views in 3 days.
I thought he said a lot of things. I felt like for the most part he was being truthful though. And I know that I understand that,
His intent,
it gets bigger than truth sometimes.
his intent was true. Like he was.
I feel like his intent was to clap back. What he felt
right.
like was a clap back. I feel like he honestly felt slighted and just went in ways that we don't see in Hollywood a lot of times. You see a lot of PC stuff. And he came with nope, you. You know what I mean? And we ate that up. We eat that kind of stuff up. Pause. You know what I mean? So,
This goes out to you.
yeah.
You.
And he started from the rip.
Off
2
rip.
seconds in.
No question asked
Shannon
or
had
nothing.
to ask no questions. This all he had to do was rock like that boy talk. It was
Shannon
like
was
a 3 hour
uncomfortable.
special. That's what he's getting
yeah.
3 hours Netflix special for free.
For free. Shannon
That's
was
what you like.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a great point. You
It's like
liken
a
it to
3 hour special. Like you could watch that 3 hours and you were entertained. Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
sometimes you watching the whole 3 hours or something. It's hard to watch
Right.
something for
That
3
is-
hours.
That is true. That is not a big fat phase on lie.
and not just 3 hours or something. It's 3 hours of two people talking.
Yeah.
That's very difficult to do.
Right.
To entertain somebody for that long. It was wow. It was no lows. In
Right.
the-
Right.
in the
Exactly.
entire interview.
No loads.
Exactly.
None.
Here's the thing, right? Like if I go somewhere and I say, yo, I'm better than you, you trash, and I dunked on you and I put 40 on you in this, what you usually retort back by saying, I'm better than you, right? Or nah, that ain't true. That's cool. Let's find out. Meet me over here and we'll hoop over here.
That always should be the case.
Nobody retorted back when I'm better than you. I think everybody he said something dirty about, they all know at the end of the day, forget, who rock with who's friends with who. Katt is better than me. That's what it comes. That's why he felt like that. I can say these type of things, and at the end of the day, when it comes to this mic and the stage, can't none of y'all see me.
I agree with that. Nobody said anything. Usually when you piss people off, they cannot wait to say something back. And everybody's like, well, you said. But he gave a lot of flowers out too. So I felt like it was honest. That's why it felt true to me. It wasn't like he was just out there just to talk trash on people. He talked trash on the people that he felt like had done something to him and gave flowers to the
Apparently, DL is untouchable. He's untouchable Hove. I did not know that. I did not know no DL slander will be tolerated. That's exactly what he said. And me, like, over the years, been in stand up, you hear who people love and who people don't, and who people think is funny, and blah 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 blah. You hear a lot from like the consumer. Oh, DL ain't funny.
He trash.
Oh,
see
what I mean?
I don't think he's not funny.
See what I mean?
I ain't spending no bread to go see DL.
But I understand as a comedian and as a consumer, I understand the genius of DL Hughley, which is why I get why Katt Williams said, ain't no DL slander gonna be tolerated. Even like you got at half of the kings of comedy. You got at Steve, you got at Sid. You gave your flowers to Bernie, and part of the reason because Bernie ain't here and Bernie can't really defend himself. He ain't got a voice no more. I get that. But DL's still here. And the crazy thing about DL is you don't see Sid on the road no more. Steve quit a long time ago. DL still out here in these clubs grinding like a 365-day-a-year schedule. I think that's where the respect comes from Katt. Like, and DL a OG, so I'm pretty sure DL then gave Katt some game and all that stuff. Like I didn't know, like the way he gave DL his flowers was very refreshing to me. Yeah. And it gave me a new level. I always had respect for DL, but it gave me a new level of respect for DL too. And I got to finish his book too.
Yeah,
I got the book at the crib. I got to finish that.
How is it?
So far, so good. Yeah. I'll pass it off to you when I get done. But of course, old contrarian over here.
Listen, I'm a Katt guy. Katt top 5 dead or alive. You know what I mean? All time. You put, ain't too many people basic staging a mic can mess with the ball. Forget all the movies and the TVs. That right there ain't too many can touch them.
Okay. When we're gonna get back to the interview, I wanna ask you both a question. Comedy is subjective, right? You're gonna have different opinions. I understand the genius of DL. I think you do too, but overall, he just doesn't make you laugh, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. We all can see. We can all see and hear the nonstop laughter that Katt Williams gets every time he's on stage. He's certified, bar none, one of the best to ever pick up a microphone and perform on stage. And we know that he's funnier than almost 90% of the game. Like, how come that doesn't translate into success comedy-wise? How come there's more comedians that's not as funny as Katt? Can't rock with him, can't follow him or nothing on stage. How come they're more successful?
You in the game, right? Some of it
I'm asking you, what's your opinion?
Some of it is kissing the babies and playing the game, right? I think people like K Hart have mastered, I know who to be friendly with. I know what I'm not allowed to say. Like, it's you got to play the game. And Katt appears to be one of them people where I'm playing by my rules. I got my own standards. I got my own morals, and I ain't breaking these things for nobody.
I agree. Some people, you know, they don't want to go with the flow, and he don't go with the flow.
One of them.
Yeah, and I feel like to have that mentality, he's reached the heights. You know, I just think that he will never, as long as he keeps this attitude, he'll never be the billion dollar cat. You know what I mean?
Patrice O'Neal was the exact same way.
Right,
Straight
right,
anti-establishment. I don't fuck with none of y'all.
Right.
And I'm funnier than all y'all.
Right,
He
right.
was, you talk about Katt, like he was on that order. Like he will tell you to your face, you are trash. You are awful. We heard the infamous story of Patrice O'Neal and Bill Burr and all them going to see Kevin Hart perform in New York, and they were throwing phone books at him. Said, look in the phone, start reading the phone book. That's better than the material you got. That's what Patrice O'Neal was like.
Right.
Ain't none of y'all messing with me, and I ain't got to do none of this cornball shit y'all doing.
Right.
Katt referenced Patrice O'Neal in the interview as well. Katt's a superstar, so we all see that he's extremely funny and one of the best around. And Kev is a superstar too. Once it gets to that level, isn't it about just who's funnier than who?
It don't come to, yo, you can hoot, right? And I cannot get along with you. You cannot like me. You can think I'm corny and this and this, right? And y'all could be clicked up. He could be the cool boy. He could have all the nice clothes and all that. But at the end of the day, when we go to the Elks and we on the court, it come down to who can hoop, right? And Katt know that I can hoop and I can do this and you can't rock with me. So sometimes, very rarely, sometimes you can make it corporate, right? You know, Kevin Hart can respond by, I can get on ESPN in between the game and the commercial and talk crazy about you and millions of people going to see this and they going to laugh with me. That's my response. But Katt, if somebody had done that to Katt would have been like, yo, let's go grab a mic and find out who better. That would have been his response. And sometimes, like Katt said, yo, sometimes we got to grab this mic and we got to stand up face to face and we got to get to it.
Yeah. But the reaction, like Kev got the corporate back and he can go to ESPN, get on there and talk his shit. The reaction was, what he said was trash.
It was corny because, I mean, sometimes you see through it, right? And when you see, like us, we see through it in regards to, that's cool, and you got your little platform. Like sometimes you could be the Drake, and I can be the lower level rapper, right? Like Pusha, and I can body you, right? But you so big, you can push my shit to the side, and you know it never happened, right?
But you don't get that. You don't get to that level without consumers thinking you're funny, right? So if we going, you can have all the backing in the world. We seen people get a push. If you get a push and people don't rock with it, they just don't rock with it. So the people, it's got to be a combination of the two, right? For Kevin,
right? It's got, yeah. I mean, Kevin's not. He's been funny, right? We've all backed him at some point in time, right?
Right. I like Kevin Hart. I think that it's more like music. You know, the like he said, the marketing and the push and having a machine behind you changes everything for a large part of the population. Now we feel like we on the ground. We kind of know what's going on. I could see through it. Okay. But a lot of these people are not. They see this guy's a super duper star. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not really about what's real. Okay. Being real is not always what matters. You know what I mean?
Got you. And being the funniest.
You can't force them in the ring. Sometimes you can't force them in the ring. I'm so big, I can. Man, you're not important enough. I'm not playing you one-on-one. You're nobody. I'm on my way to the league, or I'm in school and you in the hood. But he really might be better. Right. You know what I mean? And you don't want to go see him one-on-one because he's going to expose you. But you still, man, I ain't got time for that. I'm about to go to school. I ain't playing you.
Yeah. I dig that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Favorite
brush it off.
Favorite Katt moment in the interview.
The part when he was like, yo, boy, when he hit with the boy, and he got Shane's face off, and Shane had backed up a little bit, like, you know what I mean?
He was referencing to like the the machine versus talent. Yeah, y'all might be good on paper, but when we line up, boy,
When we line up, you know what I mean? When we line up, you got to find out who.
and Shannon just was like, wow. What's your favorite part?
Man, I do not know. I know a couple of times he literally had me laughing out loud and I was watching it by myself. So I would probably say one of those, but I think the part that most stuck out to me was when he said his main goal in Hollywood was to maintain his virgin hole.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. That was absolutely my favorite part was when he was talking about Steve Harvey.
Oh,
The man unit.
He said, he said he had a man unit. And then he said, Steve Harvey said he never wanted to be an actor. No, you couldn't be an actor. There are 30,000 scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them is asked for a country bumpkin black dude who can't talk good. OBK, bitch. And look like Mr. Potato Head. Bro, you talking about screaming? I was like, I had to watch that part. He said they got 20 million views. I had to watch that part at least 1,000 times.
Listen, Katt, when I walked away after the gym, I'm like, maybe he is a genius. Maybe his IQ really is 183 because, you ain't got nothing written down. Like, he ain't reading off no, like, that thing was so smooth. That 3 hours was so smooth. And it wasn't like Shannon was walking him through it. Like, nah, I'm going to walk you through how I want this joint to go. And your questions is going to be based upon what I'm saying.
yeah.
For 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's special.
Yeah, definitely is. Is it the greatest podcast episode?
I don't know. We might
Can
have
you
to
top
give
it?
We might have to give it
Can
some
it be
time
top?
because right now it feels like it.
Okay, I only say that to say, okay, all right. The greatest interviews we've seen over the past 10 years have all been linear radio. Like The Breakfast Club had the best interviews, like Birdman, Dame, Lil Mama, Soldier Boy. Now it's like that Katt interview tops all that to me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Soldier Boy has some good sound bites, but
Definitely some
I
quotables.
think this one has like
Definitely some
30,
quotables.
like, and that's not even an exaggeration. Probably got like 30 sound bites from
Wow, quotables.
You know what
in
I
this
mean?
one.
even the knowledge he was dropping. I was like, bruh, some of the things that he said was like,
Like, he
you could
can't
write
do
that on
another
a
one.
meme.
Like, you got to chill for a year.
He gotta be like Mike.
Yeah,
He can't do it. He can't do
you
interviews no more.
You can't go to Drink Champs and go do another one. You gotta chill for a year.
You know
and
they
go-
calling him.
Nah,
No,
Drink Champs,
everybody's calling.
Everybody's calling.
You can't take no more, and you gotta chill. You can't top that.
You know Drink Tamp's calling him. You know $1 million worth of game is calling him. You know all of them are trying to get at him.
Save it for the stage. Whatever
Bro.
you're gonna do following this, save it for the stage.
He said he went on there without any intention of selling anything or promoting anything, but I find that odd and extremely convenient because he's starting a tour. The Dark Matter tour starts. I don't know if it already started, but if it
I know
hasn't,
it's
it's
in
about
AC in
to.
February.
Yeah. So it was a lot of cap in that interview, by the way, too.
Yo, it was mashed up with so much entertainment and facts that it don't matter.
It does
I
matter.
believe that he can run a
Matters to
sub
me.
4.3. I believe it. I don't care if he can or not.
Here's
And I hope he can.
here's what makes it great though. And this shows his genius as a comedian. As comedians, your intent is to mix truth with a little bit of embellishment, mix it all together, and perform it, and that be your bit. He did that for, like you said, for 3 hours. It was a lot of truth. It was a lot of embellishment, and it was a hell of a performance. But but I can't, I'm a guy that calls it like I see it. A lot of bullshit in there.
But yo, like, all right, you say 3 hours, right? How many times we do the show, right? And you've done plenty of podcasts, right? And you get done on a topic and you like, damn, I wish I had said this. Or I wish, I don't think he walked away like I left nothing out. Like,
Right.
I think he hit everything. Like, I don't think he walked away joint like, I wish I had said, damn, I wish I had got at him, or I wish I had said this. I think he hit everything he wanted to hit.
Yeah, he definitely did. That 3,000 book shit is.
I don't think that was literal though. Because
I
he
don't
probably
think
like,
so.
man, I read 5,000 books a year.
No, bro. This is exactly what he said, verbatim. From ages 8 to 12, I've read 3,000 books per year.
Right. And I didn't think that, and when I heard it, I didn't think that was literal.
Listen,
You know what I mean? Because I exaggerate like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Only thing I hope is true. I'm rooting for him so heavy that I hope he can run this sub 4.3, and I hope he runs 3,000. I hope it's all real. I'm on Katt's side. I hope it's all real.
To me, that was like, we not, 3,000. Okay. Like,
In my mind,
so what if
I'm
people
like,
have said
could have been some
1,700?
5-page books. Like I'm trying to rationalize to make it real for me.
Could have been 1,000 little golden books.
Right.
That's wild.
still
That's crazy. Neil, please watch it so we can discuss it at a later time. But Saquon, man,
There's no way.
Yo,
that
Dreads, Saquon, Dreads, wherever you want to go by. Just this shit I'm dealing with every fucking week, bro.
There's no way that he
Dreads, this is what I'm dealing with every week.
Here's the problem, because I showed the score, and I don't like to speak on it because the score is just funny. It's just silly. We just mess around.
No,
but I
he's not
genuinely
taking it as a joke. I just want
I know.
you to
He's
know,
Not
I'm living my
taking it
whole
as a
life.
joke.
Well,
When
no.
this is over, yeah, I'm trashing you. You know what I mean? I'm can sporting you.
This is the push and pull of the podcast, where it's like, I know it's silly, we just do it. And then also when we have guests on, it almost becomes impossible for me to figure out whose points go where. So guys, yes, I think it's funny that Brian is every week winning, but at the same time, I am rooting for Ray. I am. I did not do this one. Because at some points Saquon, you were like kind of arguing for the other point. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all in fun. Ray's very funny, very
Yeah,
good.
he thinks it's a conspiracy. Man.
Yo, Dreads, like, you know what? In the game,
I mean, I've been watching.
I say this every week.
I've been watching.
Take the grind and start joint on, go grab his joint and swap them joint at the end of this episode. That's what they doing. I'm out here dolo.
He said I take it seriously, but apparently he does too.
Because I know you did, and I know you walking away like, I gotta carry this motherfucker every week. I know that's how you thinking. I know that's how you thinking.
Bro, listen.
That's not the case. Listen, that's not the case because we've spoken plenty of times about me letting you rock out. Your time of possession is ridiculous.
Drez, I'm tell you, I know it's true. It's time when we hoop, right? And I've had to run the point. I got all the response. I'm getting the toughest matchup. And it might be a game where I'm off. A B done went crazy. He had the matchup. He done went crazy. It might be weeks and weeks. He might come back. Yeah, man, you was trash that game. I had this many points. Knowing I done did. Yo, I had to guard him. I had to run the point. I had to do all this other stuff. I don't care. You was trash this game, and I was carrying him. You the reason we lost.
My boy, like Stacey Patton.
and on that note, this guy airing his grievance
because I know you be pocketbooking them. I know you be pocketbooking the drug.
Cat Raymond over here.
Cat Bird. Here we go. Cat Bird. And another thing.
Oh man, but great episode, fellas. Saquon, man, thank you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for
This was, I'm happy to finally be able to come through.
right.
I've been watching since episode 1.
Can you just real quick before we get off, just because I've been showing people obviously historical oracles, but like, do you want to talk about what that is and follow the page a little bit?
Oh yeah. Please go give me a follow. Historical oracles, man. I'll talk about Black history facts, people, places, things throughout Black history that are mostly lesser known. But we do talk about a lot of the prominent figures too, but usually it's from an angle that you haven't heard before. So man, I'm having fun. I'm building it up, man. Just having fun doing what I do. I kind of been in this vein since I was a little kid, so it always been kind of close to my heart. So
Nice.
yeah, man, having fun.
Yeah, on Instagram, everybody, it's for the audio listeners, it's just historical oracles,
Yeah,
spelled out
historical
straight,
oracles.
no spaces. Yeah, follow.
Instagram, follow me on YouTube, everything, man. I'm trying to get the page going, the channel going.
Word.
Be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great channel, man. Definitely. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, Ray. Glad you got over you. Whatever you was going through. I think that was episode 12. I think I'm 10-2.
See, I told you this is not a
That's
joke.
the shit I'm talking about. You see your dress? You see that? Ray and guest that 132. That's all me and you came up with, right?
I know. Right.
Disrespect is crazy, man.
Shout out to our sponsors, Grind and
There's no
Starve.
way he doubled us.
Yeah. Grind and Starve, if you know, you know. And Honeybee Diaper Cakes for Brian Isley, Saquion, Gullett, Raymond Byrd, Super Producer Neil. This is High IQ Basketball. We'll catch y'all next week.
Cheer.
If you're going to a baby shower and you need a gift, I have the perfect solution for you. Go to Honeybee Cakes on Macari. Honeybee Cakes specializes in affordable diaper cakes. They make the perfect gift for the new addition to the fam. Search Honeybee Cakes on Macari today. Hey everybody, this is Brian Isley, comedian extraordinaire, asking you guys to download Logo, the Isley album, and Uno, the One Take album. I have 3 albums. They're all on Spotify. They're all on iTunes. They're all on Tidal. Streaming well right now, but I need more support. I need you guys to go and download these albums, man. Download Logo, Laugh or Get Offended. Download the Isley album and download Uno, the One Take album. And they are available where you stream all your music. They're hilarious because I made them. So download these albums today and get your laugh on.
Yeah, I can put that together. I
Cool.
actually might. They're just audio. The album?
Albums, yeah.
No, yeah. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is comedian Neil Wood and
Adam Nutter.
we can't do it like that. You have to sound like a human being. This cut, that's insane. Because I'm realizing how little you're talking.
Adam Nutter.
I could just take, if you just want me to, honestly, you know what we need to do is we just need to get that clean.
Adam Nutter.
And then I'll just pop it in wherever I need to. But
Adam Nutter. Let's do that.
come listen to the Cult of Us podcast. That's our promo.
Adam Nutter.
A Drop Tent Media Network podcast. Go to droptent.com or search Cult of Us podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
I'ma have to tie up my Nikes for this one. I'ma go for like a quadruple double. We playing a game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. If fortune favors the bold, that's why I keep on just winning. If timing is just the essence, then I'ma keep on just spending. I'm worth a couple of bucks, shout out to Antetokounmpo. Dropping in Bebo facts that's seeping into your glue buds. Advising like Tony Kukoc, we getting into it mucho. Directing all these plays like my name was Tony Russo. Ballin', that's how we do, so I'm going in for the win. Penetrate the lane like we way back in 2010. I'm stomping straight in my Timbs. The basics just like I'm Tim. I'm dunking on you haters. A poster is where you live. It's magic all in my wrist. Steph Curry, we going swish. It's showtime like the 80s. Basketball is where we live. I'm highly gifted and skilled. I'm going in for the kill. The game is on the line. Raymond Byrd, hey, yo, what's the deal? Pass it to Brian Isley. I bet he probably surprised me. High IQ basketball is the show and it's not a hobby. Playing the game to win and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.